So last season with our Crystal Palace side, things didn't go massively to plan, but they still went kind of okay when you think we've only been back in the Premier League for about 5 seasons, finishing 8th place in the table. In the next 4 seasons, we've got one objective, and that objective is to win the league. I don't think it's going to happen. We've got 4 years. I think we'll be lucky if we get in a title challenge. I think that's what we've got to go for. Already at the start of Season 7 as well, we've done a fair amount of transfer business, most of it leaving the club, in fact, so we've done very little transfer business. Joining Javier Rojo is the only man to join the club at 19 years of age. He has cost £23 million from Athletic Bilbao over in Spain, but I think he's obviously a pretty decent player. I'm hoping he's one for the future, but we might end up playing him now. We have got rid of 3 players as well on permanent deals. Karel Sver is the first one. He is left on a free transfer, signing for Luton. He just constantly went out on loan loads and didn't really get much better, so Luton can have him now. Another player who constantly went out on loan is Robert Gulab, who went out on loan to Leeds about 4 times, and now he's gone there permanently for £9 million. We basically brought Leeds a goalkeeper for £2.8 million, and then they paid us a bit more money to take him permanently. So that's alright, I guess. And for £19.75 million, Eric Wamba has also moved on, staying in England, this time moving to Southampton on the south coast. We brought him in for £5.25 million. Never really played him. When we did play him, it was more down to injuries than actually needing to play him. So he's gone there on a permanent deal after his loan spell. It's good money. It's a good bit of profit. And that's all the business we've done so far. We do have £106 million to spend. It's a lot of money, and I think I might try and spend it. If we're going to try and go for a Premier League title challenge, we do need to kind of strengthen in a fair few places. And I know star ratings don't mean much, if anything, at times. We've got a lot of 2.5 star players, and in our best 11, David Siddle, Zidane as our left back, we've got Nedeljkovic as our right back, Sebastian Moller, James Hayes. We need to kind of strengthen defensively and sort of maybe the central midfield role. So let's jump forward to the end of the summer transfer window. Let's see what transfer business we have done. And I'm going with we're going to spend about £80 million. Or we don't spend anything and we just sell players. Our budget's gone up to £135 million in September. The window's closed. And we spent nothing on Jordan Woodford. That's it. That's all we've done. We brought in a free transfer winger and striker from Liverpool. That's all we've done. We've sold some people as well. Ricardo Robinson, who is an under-18s goalkeeper, has left, signing for Lincoln for about £400,000, 325, potentially going to 475. And Luciano Lopez has also left the club on a permanent deal, signing for Leicester, a team that he was on loan at last season for £13.75 million. He was getting annoyed that he wasn't getting game time, so we basically cashed in and took the money. And that is literally all the transfer business we've done. I mean, we're not even going to do anything in January, so we're going to have to hope that Season 7 is just kind of more of the same. Because we've not got Europe or anything like that, maybe we can kind of do okay. When you think of the loan deals and taking a look at the loan deals, there's no one massive that has gone out on loan either. And tactically, this is what we are locking in for the season. 4 players will be force played in their roles. Javier Rojo, the new signing, will be our right back. He's going to need to get game time, so that is what we're going to do. If we don't put Rojo in there, they'll play Nedeljkovic, which I don't want them to do. We are also sticking in Franco Vieira as that defender in the middle, because if we don't do that, if you look, he normally plays off the bench. Those 3 matches there, he's come off the bench. We want him to actually play some game time. If we look as well, he is technically our second best central defender. Kenneth Drexel is our best defender by a fair distance. But Mane is not too dissimilar from Vieira, so is Diego, so I want to force play Vieira just to make sure that happens. Sebastian Moller will be that defensive midfielder because I just want him to play, okay? I've decided Sebastian Moller is going to play lots and lots of football for us because lots of big teams always come in from in the summer, so there's got to be something there. I feel like our formation just doesn't fit Moller because he's not amazing. He's not amazing at all, is he? He does all right. He plays just under 7s for the average of the season, but that's fine. And then we're going to be playing James Hayes as that attacking midfielder. I brought him in initially to be a Mazzala, but he's going to be that attacking midfielder. He says he's leaving on a free transfer. I'm hoping to convince him to sign a new contract. He's got 10 months left on his deal. That might change, okay? That definitely might change. In fact, it probably will change. In terms of the league and cups and things like that, we are still in the Carabao Cup. We've got Burnley in the 3rd round. In the league, we haven't won a single game in the first 3, drawing with Brighton and Man United and losing against Tottenham, but it is still very early days, plenty of time to turn it round, and that is what we're going to see if we can do right now. We're going to jump forward to the end of the season, and I want to be top 7. Top 7 will be good. Or 11th. 11th is where we finished. It's another, just not a very good season, really, is it? 50 points. In fact, I think we're going backwards, guys. I think we're going backwards. My objective to try and win the league, we've got 61 points there. The season before we got 58. So, and this season we've got 50. That's a huge step back. I think the lack of transfers might have been a problem. We also did not win the FA Cup and we did not win the Carabao Cup. We did get to the quarterfinals of the Carabao Cup, which is probably our best performance in a very long time, losing 3-2 to Spurs in the end. Huddersfield and Preston in the quarterfinals. We're either League One Preston and Championship side Huddersfield get to the semi-final of the Carabao Cup and then losing eventually to Man City, but did beat them 3-1 as well. They lost 7-0 and then lost 3-1. Or beat them 3-1, sorry. So Rojo looked like he had a very good season as that right back, obviously playing 40 times, a little bit of injuries and fitness maybe getting in the way there, or possibly a suspension or two. Getting 13 assists and 1 goal, which is very good to see. He's also wanted by a bunch of teams on loan. It's not happening, guys. In the opposite position, though, on the left-hand side, Zidane was our top assister from left-back. 8 assists. It's not a lot of assists, really. I think this might be our downfall. We're not necessarily getting the assists in because our fullbacks aren't as good as perhaps we've had in the last few seasons. So that could be a bit of a problem, but we're still doing okay. And we've only got 4 players as well, breaking double figures for goals. Nathan Hosker is one of them with 12 goals and 6 assists. Did he play in that Mazzala role? He did play majoritively, is that a word? I don't know. He played most of that in the Mazzala role, which I'm wondering whether he should be the attack midfielder. It honestly makes more sense, doesn't it? So Hosker's done all right. James Hayes has also played the whole season as that attacking midfielder, getting 14 goals in all competitions, and he has not decided to sign a new contract. He's decided to go to Bayern Munich. So, that was an experiment that was kind of annoying. We spent £12 million on this guy, loaned him out to Wrexham for a season. He played 20 times mostly off the bench last year, and then played loads this year, doing all right, and then he's decided he's off to Germany. I'm annoyed by this one. This one's kind of annoyed me. And obviously our 2 top goal scorers are going to be Ross Smith and Horgan. I've forgotten his name. Is it Nathan? I don't know. Ross Smith is second with 16 goals and 5 assists. Jamie Horgan is his name, and he is our top goal scorer with 17 goals and 6 assists. He's also got 123 league goals for Crystal Palace in just under 250 appearances. That is a goal every other game. That's good. That is very good. I'm happy with that return. I am very happy with that return, in fact. And our 5th top goal scorer was Franco Vieira. Played 33 times, 3 off the bench for some reason. I don't know why 3 off the bench, but whatever. He's got 6 goals in the league, 2 assists as well. He's done quite good. Anyone else want to take a look at? Sebastian Moller, just played loads of football, 38 games, average rating of a 6.63. He is improving. Maybe he's a late developer, because they still reckon there's something that he can do. There's still some kind of growing room there. He's wanted by Chelsea, Leicester, PSG, Al Ittihad, and Al Qadsiya might be their name. So he's still good. He's definitely good. I just don't think, mentally and physically, he's really good. Technically, I think is what lets him down. He can't tackle. He's got 11 tackling. He can't kick the ball because he's got 12 first touch. He's good at marking. He's good at technique, and he's good at passing. If we can get his first touch up, maybe that might improve him a bit. Some players as well who I think have definitely underperformed. John Prinz is one of them. I think he probably played as a Mazzala for the most of the season, but he only gets 7 assists and 1 goal, which is not good enough for me. We've also got Avia. I imagine he didn't play a huge amount, came off the bench 22 times, but one assist and 1 goal in the league. Again, not very good at all, is it? Well, that is season 7 out of the way. Season 8 is just around the corner, and we really have to be getting European football. That has to be our goal and our objective, because if we don't, my plan of trying to be in the title challenge between now and the end of the season, or the end of this save, I don't think it's going to happen. Season 8, 3 more years to go with this Crystal Palace relegation rebuild save. And where we currently sit in the table is where I'd love to finish. Honestly, I don't think it's going to happen, but it is the 1st of July. We had £130 million to spend. We've spent at least £50 million already. And the window's literally been open for about a week. So let's see what we've done, shall we? We've sold Ruel Walters to Hull for £30 million. He went there on loan, I believe, last season, and it became a permanent deal when they got promoted to the Premier League. So that is a huge sum of money to bump up our coffers for the year. We've also lost James Hayes to Bayern on a free transfer, which we knew was going to happen, but it's just annoying. It's still annoying me. Daniel Bello has also left on a free transfer, signing for Al Hazem in Saudi Arabia. Igor Monatas has left, signing for Villarreal on a free transfer over in Spain. And Eduardo Camacho has left on a free transfer signing for Birmingham. Joining the club then is Bernd Buchler, might be his name, signed from, I want to say Lazio, but it might have been AC Milan on a free transfer. It was AC Milan on a free transfer when his contract expired. He has kind of come in as a utility player, can play in loads of positions. Alex Nuzzo is another player signing on a free transfer, this time from Inter Milan. Once again, he's a bit of a utility player. I say utility, he can play there, can't he? We don't play wingers, do we? Nuzzo might have been a waste of time. I signed him thinking, yeah, he's a good winger. We don't play wingers with Palace, do we? Morten Dalgas is a Danish goalkeeper signed from Brøndby, once again, on a free transfer. And he's come in as a backup, and he's happy to be a backup. And I think he's really good. Is it just me? But he looks like a really good goalkeeper, a really good backup goalkeeper, which is good because it means we've got Siddle, we've got Jones-Williams, and we've got Dalgas. And that's it. We don't need any more goalkeepers, hopefully between now and the end of this save, which is perfect. We've also spent £6.75 million on a man called Alex Humphreys, a 24-year-old Englishman. I brought him in predominantly because he's an English defender. I'm hoping he can get better. He's only 24, but my coaches aren't massively convinced, so this might have been money wasted. For £8.5 million, we have picked up an absolute bargain in the shape of Mohamed Traore, 19 years of age, Ivorian left-back, signed from Sharjah over in Kuwait, UAE. He went there from ASEC Mimosas for just under 400. We brought him in for 8.5, which was his minimum fee release. I think we've got ourselves a potential world-class left-back now. He's 19 and classed as a Wonderkid. I think he's one of the best left-backs in the world right now, and he's cost us £8.5 million. This was a position that we desperately needed to improve as from last season, maybe even the season before, because Zidane was not very good. Traore, I think, is ridiculous. And the final signing to join the club we are strengthening in defence is Ronnie or Rooney. Or Ronnie? Is it Ronnie? I'm going to call him Ronnie. I don't know why. That's how my brain wants to say it. So we're calling him Ronnie, a 24-year-old Brazilian with 8 caps to his name, signed from Fulham for £49 million. I thought I signed him from Spain, but apparently not. It's £49 million. It's a lot of money. In fact, I think, and by think I'm almost certain, it is our record transfer. But this is what we need to do. We've got 3 more seasons to try and challenge for the title, so we need to spend big. And we've got the money to do that, so that is exactly what we're going to do. Obviously, the transfer window is still wide open. We've got £67 million to spend. We are under our wage budget by 100,000 or so as well. So let's jump forward to the start of September, once the window is closed, and see how much more of this money we can spend. Not a huge amount more. We're down to £55 million, but we have done a little bit more business. As a club, we are £23 million in debt. Which is, it's not ideal. And I'd like to point out that that's not me putting them in debt. We're only £13 million in transfer debt, okay? I'm not using the pay monthly thing because over a 10-season save in the Premier League, it doesn't kind of feel right to just cheat and put all your money in like 2 seasons down the road when you're not even going to be in charge of the club. So let's see what we've done. We've signed Dale Francis from Al Jazeera in the United Arab Emirates. Our scouts must have gone to the UAE and went, let's try and find some players here. And they've picked up 2 very good ones, formerly of Liverpool, Aston Villa and Birmingham, signed on a free transfer last season. We've then brought him back to England for £10.75 million. As a Mazzala, I think he's a very good player. We've tried to strengthen the midfield. That was my objectives, I think, for this season, was get a decent midfielder, decent centre-back, decent left-back, and we've certainly done that with Dale. I mean, he's not every single one of those positions, obviously. We have also done no further transfer business, really. We've done a whole load of loan deals. No one has left on a permanent deal. Aldo going on loan to Wolves for £1.8 million is a fairly sizable bit of money to come back into the club. But other than that, that's pretty much it. And so far, the season has kicked off reasonably well. We are 4 games in, and we've won 3 of them, including Villa, Chelsea, and Brighton. We've lost 1 match, a 4-1 defeat against Manchester City, but we are currently sat 4th place in the table, 9 points on the board. Is this our year to get Champions League football back at Selhurst Park? I feel like it isn't, but, you know, it might happen. Tactically, we're just locking in 2 players this time around. It is Traore being locked in as that left-back. I don't think I need to do this, but we're doing it just in case. And then Mola is still going to be locked in that defence midfield role. The reason why I'm locking Mola in, if I don't, they'll play Diego, they'll play Miley, they'll play Rice, and they'll play Avia. I don't really want any of those to play. Diego maybe I'd be okay with, but Mola is the one I really want to play. And once again, he's still wanted, this time by teams in Saudi Arabia, but he's still wanted by big, high-paying clubs, which is why I'm determined to keep him around. Right, let's jump forward to the end of the season. I want to be top 4, mate, top 7. Top 7 in the Premier League. FA Cup, I'd love a decent cup run in both of the cups. I don't think we're going to win either of them, but there we are. Let's jump forward then to the end of the season, see how well we've got on. So, in the Carabao Cup, we were not crowned the champions, but we did manage to get all the way through to the semi-final, losing out ultimately to Arsenal, Man City being the eventual winners. In the FA Cup, we did not manage to make it to the final in this one. In fact, we lost once again to Arsenal in the fourth round, 4-1 defeat this time. However, something utterly ridiculous has happened. We've won the Premier League. We've won the Premier League by 1 point over Manchester United. Man City finishing in third, so it was very tight at the top. 3 teams could have won it. We have won the Premier League. How close was this on the last few games of the season? So we just scraped by with lots of 1-0 wins. Just picking up loads of points, though. That is good. Beating Man City on the 26th of March may well have been something that helped decide, and by May, definitely was something that helped decide the title. Same with beating Man United a month before. So Man United were the team that we needed to make sure were doing badly. What happened to them? They drew the last game of the season. If they won that game, they would have been crowned champions. They drew the last game of the season, and we were crowned champions because of it. Florian Wirtz has won us the Premier League. He's not even our player. He's played a lot of times for Newcastle, and he's won us the Premier League. Let's just double check what Man City did on their final games of the season. I mean, they beat Wolves. They beat Wolves. They did also win the Champions League, so I feel like they don't really care too much. So Liverpool certainly helped us out there, and the Chelsea draw. How? What has gone on? You can see there that we've got Horgan and Smith, 2 of the top goal scorers in the league, sandwiched between Mathis Tell. How have we won the Premier League? Last year we finished 11th, and then we've won the Premier League. Well, sorting by goals, we still didn't have a huge amount of high goal scorers. I mean, we did. Nathan Hosker, 12 goals. I think he would have played in that attacking midfield role. He did play in that attacking midfield role, which is much more suited for him. 12 goals, 9 assists. So he's obviously done very well. Dale Francis, the new signing, 14 goals in the league, 11 assists, 20 and 12 in all competitions. That was a bit of money well spent. I'm very happy with that. Ross Smith, 25 goals, 4 assists. And then top of the tree, it is Jamie Horgan, who's got 4 England goals as well in 7 caps, 31 goals and 10 assists, 26 of them in the league. What's gone on there? I mean, the new signings that we've had. So Dale Francis was a new signing. Traore is up there as well with 10 assists, 4 goals. He's damaged his cruciate ligaments. We missed our number 1 left back for a few months, 5 games. Okay, it's not too bad then, but the fact that he's damaged his cruciate ligaments is kind of annoying. Even Sebastian Moller's getting some goals and assists. Fair play, lad. This was probably your best season ever with us. It's close. That was technically your best season ever, but fair play. Moller's getting some goals. I've just seen as well, Javier Rojo has got 15 assists, 12 of them were in the Premier League. 22 starts, 10 off the bench. So Nedeljkovic probably played some as well. He did. He got 6 assists right down the bottom there as well. I think the new signings that we made, most of them anyway, I say most, the big ones, your Francis, your Traores, and where's Roney? Where's Roney? Where is he? He's there. Roney's there. He's not really done a huge amount, but a 7.04 average rating in the Premier League. Just the 1 goal. That's good, isn't it? Can we see clean sheets? We'll take a look at Siddle. Siddle was our number 1 goalkeeper. He's kept just 9 clean sheets. So it's not amazing by all means, but 9 is still pretty good, isn't it? Out of a 40-odd or 38-game season, 9 clean sheets. It's actually very good, isn't it? That's a quarter of the season he's kept clean sheets in. Well, season 8 then, we have fulfilled our objective. On the last day of the season, we fulfilled our objective by leapfrogging Man United to win the Premier League. We've got 2 more years left of this relegation rebuild. Are we going to try and win it again? I feel like this is a fluke, right? Let me just double check. 83 points. Last season, we would have been 3rd. We would have been 2nd. We would have been 2nd. We would have been 2nd. We would have been 3rd. We would have been 2nd. We would have been maybe won the league there. Maybe in that season we would have won the league. We would have been 2nd. We would have been 2nd. We would have been 2nd. We would have been 3rd. We would have been 2nd. So it's the lowest points to win the league in ever. I say ever. In this save, anyway. So, I mean, we can kind of take that with a pinch of salt, but the fact that we do have that trophy in the cabinet, and let me just confirm that trophy is in the cabinet. It is there. 2036 Premier Division winners. We also didn't win the championship, did we? We came 2nd. We didn't do that in 2026. That was someone else. We've won the Premier League. After this, just 9th, 11th 5th, 11th, 8th, 11th. Next season we're going to finish 11th, aren't we? We finished 11th 3 times in the last 5 seasons or whatever it is. Anyway, we've won the Premier League. Let's do Season 9. It is definitely weird to see the English Community Shield on our list of competitions for the season, but there we are. We are champions of England, and we've now got 5 competitions to fight on. Premier League, Champions League, FA Cup, Carabao Cup, and the Community Shield, which will be completed before we basically jump forward to the next part of this simulation video. On the 1st of July, have done nothing. We've done no transfer business whatsoever. There is a lot potentially taking place, but so far nothing has come in, nothing has left the club. And by nothing has left the club, I mean no one important has left the club. Hamady Bass is a player who arguably should have got game time for us, just never did. Kern Daniel, again, another player should have got game time for us, just never really did. But yeah, both left on free transfers. We do have a transfer budget of just under £60 million to spend. I don't know what we're going to do. We might have another season where we don't do any transfers because we are champions of England. Do you need to buy anybody new? We should. We probably should. Let's jump forward then to September and see what we've done. First thing we've done is sold Zidane for £30.5 million, a player who basically was never going to play for us again because Mohamed Traore was just so much better than him, and he's cost £30 million. That's good profit. And we've brought in Sunay Ersoy, who is a Turkish central defender. He is signed from Borussia Dortmund for £10.5 million. We have strengthened our defence for cheap. Him and Roney and Drexel are 3 very, very good centre-backs. The worry here, Ersoy or Sunay and Roney, whatever his name is, are our best 2 defenders. Drexel's very good still, and he's young. He's going to be annoyed if he does not get too much game time. So we might need to make sure we don't lock in any defenders in order to make sure that they do enough rotating throughout the season. We've also utilised the loan market because this was a man that I wanted to sign a couple of years ago, couldn't manage it because he went to Manchester City, and they've just had him loan listed for a while. I tried to loan him last year, he didn't want to join on loan. Now we've won the Premier League, he's all of a sudden decided that he's a bit of a glory hunter and he will join us on loan. Gavrilovic, as I'm sure what his name might be, has signed until the end of the season. He's a good player. He's a good Mazzala. That's one of the reasons why I wanted to bring him in. He's a really good Mazzala. He's another player in that central midfield role who we've got. So Prince, Francis, Diego, Avila, Gavrilov, Rice, all can play in that central midfield role. So we've got a pretty decent squad, I think, now. And when it comes to locking in players, Moller is going to be locked in because we always lock in Moller because I want him to get better. He's still wanted. He's always wanted by big clubs. And they do bid for him, by the way. It's not like they just want him and then they go, we won't bother. They've been bidding. Like, I think I've had bids of up to like £50 million for Moller, and I'm rejecting them. So the fact that he's still here is kind of a testament to me and my just stupidity as well. Dale Francis will also be locked in that Mazzala role because, as I mentioned, we've got a lot of central midfielders. I want to make sure Francis is playing. Okay, Francis, I feel like that is his best position in that midfield. Everyone else can play wherever they want. I'm worried that this might happen. I'm genuinely worried that he's going to be playing in midfield, which I don't want to happen at all, but there we are. If that's what happens, it means that our 2 centre-backs, and Roney and Drexel, do get to play a lot of football themselves, but that's all we're going to lock in. So without further ado, let's jump to the end of the season 9, and are we retaining our title? My guess is no. One thing we did win, and I didn't mention it earlier, is the Community Shield. We won that 3-1 against Liverpool at Wembley, so that is obviously 1 trophy in the bag. We did not win the FA Cup, however, we fall at the 5th round to the eventual winners, Arsenal. Arsenal, by the way, just beat us in every competition. Or Man United beat us in the quarterfinals of the Champions League. We don't ever seem to lose to non-English sides when we get into Europe, do we? We've just lost to Man United. We've got battered as well. We did, however, manage to beat Arsenal in the Carabao Cup final. We have picked up 2 trophies so far this season before we even talk about the Premier League. We've got the Community Shield, we've got the Carabao Cup. I mean, the fact that we've won the Carabao Cup, I'm very happy with. Who scored the goals? Horgan and Horgan, with Smith setting both of them up. You can see our starting lineup there, so that's probably what they predominantly played for most of the season. Awesome getting some game times. Does that mean what's his face is injured? He better not be injured again. And for the Premier League, we finished 4th, which is kind of okay. Everton winning the Premier League for the 2nd time in 4 years. We do finish 4th place, which means we do get Champions League football, but so do Arsenal for some reason. I don't know why Arsenal have got Champions League football. Did they do well in Europe, or they got knocked out of the Europa League, so someone above them, one of these 3, not us, would have won the Champions League or something along those lines, which means Arsenal have qualified. West Ham have qualified for the Champions League as well. They won the Europa League. Fair play, West Ham. So next season there are going to be 9 English sides playing in Europe, which is nearly half of the Premier League playing in European competitions, and 6 of them are going to be playing in the Champions League. That's ridiculous. I'm pretty sure all 6 of them will go straight into the group stage as well. So briefly looking at the squad then, we can see lots of players in double figures in the goals. Ross Smith with 39. We'll come to him in a second. Johnny Prince getting 11 and 9 assists, playing predominantly as that attacking midfielder, I assume. Maybe a bit of Mazzala by the looks of it as well. So lots of rotation going on in the centre of midfield, which is good. I like that. That's a very good thing to happen. Nathan Hosker, again, lots of goals, lots of assists, 16 assists, 11 goals. He's been predominantly playing as the attacking midfielder, but also playing as that Mazzala in the middle as well. Jordan Woodford, a player who, honestly, I brought him in because I just needed some more depth. The fact that he's got 12 goals and 4 assists in all competitions is beyond my expectations for him. And I don't even know, where have you been playing? Not you, you're Dale Francis. Jordan Woodford, where have you actually been playing as a striker? You've been playing, have we had injuries maybe? Anyway, Dale Francis in that midfield role, forced locked, played in that role, 14 goals and 11 assists. Jamie Horgan, who I think was the one who might have got injured by the looks of it, 27 goals, 9 assists in all competitions, only 13 in the league though. Did he get injured pretty badly? No, he didn't. He's missed days, like days all over the place. So Horgan just didn't seem to play much. To be fair, we didn't lock him in. So maybe Woodford just got in on merit through good training performances, stuff like that. And then Ross Smith at the top of the tree, 39 goals, 7 assists, 25 goals in the Premier League alone. He's ridiculous. He's absolutely ridiculous. The fact that he's still at the club as well, by the way, is also ridiculous. Every time his contract gets to about 2 years remaining, I give him a new deal. Same with Horgan. They're both constantly on these new deals, which is why their value, or their monthly wage, or weekly wage, sorry, is getting a bit ridiculous, but they are still here, still doing the business. Mohamed Traore, did you get injured? I want to know, did you get injured? You missed 6 months, which we know about. You missed 3 weeks. That's probably where your injury was, which has meant, what's his chops, managed to get some game time, Tristan Awesome, which is fair enough, he's done all right. Javier Rojo, 18 assists from right back. Always good to see. He's turning into a pretty decent player as well. David Siddle as well, keeping 13 clean sheets, which is better than the time when we won the league. He kept 13 clean sheets. He's also got his first England cap as well. Similarly to our 2 strikers, Siddle keeps getting new contracts. When he starts to run low, I give him a new deal. He's wanted now by Al Ali. He's not going anywhere. He is our number 1 goalkeeper until the end of time. I've just seen as well that Roney has managed to get 5 goals for himself. Pretty decent. That's what we like to see. Where is Drexel? Has he played much? He's played 1 start and 25 off the bench. He's extremely poor. He wants to start football. Yeah, he wants to start more games. It's annoying. It's certainly annoying because he's very good at football, but he is worth £70 million and Juve probably will pay that. Maybe Drexel might be off in the summer. And speaking of in the summer, that is going to be moving into our final season with Crystal Palace. Are we going to win the Premier League once again? Or is 1 title enough? We've won the Premier League, we've won the Carabao Cup, we've won the Community Shield. We've won 3 trophies, which arguably I wasn't expecting to win any. So let's jump forward to Season 10. Just the 4 competitions then to worry about in our final season, and already on the 1st of July, 2 bits of transfer business have taken place. We've sold a very good striker, but we brought one back into the club as well. For £30 million, or potentially £30 million, Jordan Woodford has left, signing for Southampton for a player that we brought in on a free transfer to then sell for £23 million, potentially up to 30. That's some good business. Yes, he did play a lot last season due to injuries and fitness and whatnot, but he also managed to only score 6 goals in the league. We have replaced him with somebody who's arguably a lot better. And that is Gaston Barrios. I say arguably, he's probably as good, isn't he? Gaston Barrios, a Uruguayan international with 7 goals in 9 caps. 6 goals already in the South American qualifications for Uruguay. Formerly of Nacional, signed for £4.4 million. And that's it, because that was his minimum fee release. There were lots and lots of other big clubs sniffing around him. He wanted £25,000 a week. We've doubled it to £50,000 because I really wanted to bring this man to the club. And this man's gone to Middlesbrough on a free, and they also don't want him at their club for some reason. I don't know why, but yeah, they picked him up for free, and now he's just worth nothing. We do have £101 million to spend, and a massive wage budget as well, which seems to be going up by like £500,000 a year at the moment, which is really good. I don't know what we're going to do with that wage budget. I don't know whether we're going to use it or not. We're going to find out. So what's actually happened is our wage budget has gone up, and so has our transfer budget. Let's see what's happened. One player has joined the club. It's Tommy Huttunen, 27-year-old Finnish left-back. He's signed from Blackburn for £6.5 million. We brought him in for depth. We brought him in solely for depth because if Traore gets injured, we sold Zidane a couple of seasons ago. If Traore gets injured, we've got nobody as our backup. We got Tristan Awesome, but Awesome he's not that good anymore. And he might be playing for VfB Stuttgart because we sold him for £25 million. So we definitely needed a backup left-back. This one stings a little bit. Dan Shepherd, who we signed from Portsmouth for about £9 million, if I remember correctly. 4.6. I don't know why I think it was $9 million. He's left. He's gone to Norwich on a free transfer. He just didn't seem to get better, and now he's called a late developer. I imagine by the time he's 30, he's going to be world class, and that's just the way this game hates me. Lewis Miley has left, also signing for Norwich for £14 million. Wasn't really getting a lot of game time the last 5 seasons, apparently. 5 seasons he's been there, just knocking about, and we've sold him for £14 million. Norwich are stupid. Bailey Rice has also left the club for just under £30 million, signing for Porto. Didn't really play last season. I guess he did. He came off the bench 21 times, but his appearances were mainly off the subs bench. It's getting £23.5 million, potentially going up to £28.5 million. That's some very good money for a 30-year-old. Another lot of good money is £31 million for Bird Bulcher. He played 4 times for us in the 2 seasons, 1 season? I'm not sure how many seasons. We can find out, can't we? In the 1 season, he's played 3 times off the bench and then 1 time that season. So, yeah, and then we've moved on for 26.5, potentially going to £31 million. It's good money. Very, very good. Stupid money, in fact. And finally, for £43.5 million, Dion Mane has left the club, signing for Everton. He was actually on loan last year at Liverpool, okay? He's decided, he went on loan there and went, I quite like it up here, but I do like the colour blue a bit more, so I'm going to wear blue instead. 42 million up front, potentially going a little bit higher than that. He's moved on. We just weren't paying him, and basically, that's a lot of money to get for a player who was just never going to play for us anymore. And that's pretty much it. Once again, we've got a whole load of loan deals. So Aldo going to Villarreal on loan. He spent a lot of time out on loan, by the way, for big money as well. 1.1 million there. We've got 725,375. So we're getting some decent money for loaning out Aldo. Rodri Davies is a player who we've had since the beginning of time. He just keeps going out on loan. He's not getting much better. Anyone else who's of interest to really mention? I don't think there is, really. We kind of stopped loaning out the good players because I wanted to make sure we had squad depth for things like the Champions League. So tactically then in Season 10, we're locking in just one player. Spooner Leslie. Who's Spooner Leslie, you'll be asking? Well, Keen Spooner Leslie, to be precise, is a 16-year-old English midfielder who came through our youth intake last season, and he's worth £36 million. And my brain's just gone, we've got 1 year, do it. Just play him for a full season, locked in that Mazzala role, which I think is probably better for him than the defensive midfielder role. Lock him in for a year. He's 16. He's just going to turn 17 by the end of the season. He's already played 3 times in the league so far and once in the Carabao Cup, getting an assist. Spooner Leslie is the future of football. He's also going to be the last player that we're really going to play in this save, isn't he? Because everyone else we're just going to leave open. Objectively, this is what you should be trying to do. If you're doing this type of save where you're just simulating, you should not want to lock in players. Your squad should be good enough to just pick anyone and everyone. Because when you lock in players, people get tired. People get worn out because they play 60 games a season with no breaks. Because when they're at this stage of fitness, the assistant will just go, yeah, he's fine. We'll play him. Why not? Let's just give him a game. When in reality, if you were picking the squad, you wouldn't do that. You'd give him a rest. So, only locking in Spooner Leslie. He's going to hopefully play 30, 40 games this season, minor bar injuries and things like that. So that's going to be very good. And that's it. That's all we're locking in. So, without further ado, let's jump to the end of the season. Actually, let's have a quick look to see what's gone on so far. Carabao Cup, we've got past Millwall 5-2, which is good. Champions League, we're obviously in it. And then Crystal Palace are currently sat 6th place in the Premier League. 2 wins, Cardiff and Wolves, and 1 defeat against Chelsea. A 4-3 defeat as well. Right. Let's jump to the end of the season. Let's see how we get on. And let's see how well Spooner Leslie does, shall we? Right, Carabao Cup. We got knocked out in the quarterfinals against the eventual winners, Manchester United. Every single quarterfinal match was decided by penalties. That's weird. We also get knocked out in the quarterfinals of the FA Cup by Manchester United. Yeah, something's not right here. And we get knocked out of the Champions League in the final against Manchester City. A 3-0 defeat in the Champions League final. How did we get to the Champions League final for a start, but then get absolutely destroyed? So Barrios started. Smith was also starting alongside him. Sunai is a left back. Oh, it might have been a mistake to not lock in Traore this season. Okay, maybe we should have done that. But the fact that we've got there, Roney is kind of ballsed it up, hasn't he? Okay, Roney's ballsed it up. We arguably should have scored a goal. In fact, we got a 1.29 XG, so maybe we should have scored 2 goals, possibly. We got to the Champions League final, which is something I wasn't expecting. And in the Premier League, we finished 5th, but we do qualify for the Champions League because Manchester City, who finished 4th, obviously won the damn thing against us, frustratingly. But a 5th is good. 5th is perfectly fine. I am happy with a 5th place finish. We were kind of there or thereabouts for most of the season anyway, so, you know, I'll take a 5th place. It is weird to see a little runners-up against the Champions League for this Crystal Palace side, because I don't think we were good enough for it anyway, but, you know, we got to the final. Looking at the squad then, Spooner Leslie, that's his name, played 61 times. 60. He missed 1 match in the Premier League, and I think that's it. That's the entire thing. Everything else, he played every single game in. 17 Champions League games, 7 goals in all competitions, 11 assists as well. For now, a 17-year-old, it doesn't look amazing, does he? But he certainly looks like a good footballer. He's definitely got something about him. If we were to do this for another 10 seasons, by the time this kid was 27, he'd be in the England squad straight into the starting 11 as well. I've got no doubt about it. Looking at goals, Roney is actually our 5th top goal scorer once again, this time with 8 goals, 7 of them in the league. 6th top goal scorer, sorry. Dale Francis, 17 goals and 14 assists. What happened? We got goals from all over the place. Nathan Hosker gets 18 goals and 24 assists. That's ridiculous as well. Barrios, good signing, I think. 22 goals and 8 assists for just 23 starts. Ross Smith, who is the bigger of the 2 strikers, he gets 28 goals and 7 assists. And then Horgan, who is the goal scorer in our team, 39 goals and 8 assists. He's wanted by Real Madrid and Al Ahly. He's not going anywhere, guys. He's got 2 years left on his deal. He's also 29. Arguably, at this point, if somebody did bid 120, 30 million pound for him, I'd sell him because he's 29. He's going to be 30 in January next year. But that's not going to be our problem because we are not going to be in charge of the club, are we? Mohamed Traore seemed to play a lot of football, but for some reason did not play in... Why didn't he start? Why did he not start in the Champions League final? He starts every other game as a left-back, but the Champions League final, they're like, yeah, no, let's not bother. Let's play Sunai as a left-back instead. Franco Vieira as well, getting 18 assists, which says to me he played as a right-back. He did play as a right-back for quite a lot of the season. Why were you a right-back? So, Rojo, did you just not play much? 28 games? Were you just rotated? It might be fine, to be fair. If he's kind of doing all this rotation stuff, that's actually okay with me. So, yeah, that's fine. That's actually pretty good. We got Davy Siddle. How did you get on? Any more England caps? 1 more England cap to your name. 9 clean sheets, 16 in all competitions, 58 appearances for Siddle, which means Dalgas would have played 4. And Dalgas, how did you do? You kept a clean sheet in the Champions League. He's a good goalkeeper, isn't he? For a backup, he's a very good goalkeeper. So that is going to do it then for this relegation rebuild with Crystal Palace. We have won the Premier League. We have won the Carabao Cup. We have won the Charity Shield as well. We have won 3 competitions. We got them back from the relegated state of down in the Championship, finishing 2nd. Quite a few poor seasons. Not necessarily poor, but seasons where we were building, shall we say. And then the unexpected rise in 2035-36, where we win the league, dropping down to 4th, then dropping down to 5th. The fact that we've also got to a Champions League final, we got to an FA Cup final as well, where we should have won that one. Did we get to? I don't think we did, actually. I don't think we did get to an FA Cup final. I'm talking absolute nonsense there. We've just done well. We've got a good squad. We spent a lot of money, but we brought in a lot of money as well. That's going to do it for this save. Thank you very much for watching. If you did enjoy, do please remember to leave a like. Subscribe to the channel if you are new, and I'll be back next time with more Football Manager 2024. And I don't even know what it's going to be yet.